Hey there, mystery recapped here. Today I'll be narrating the plot of an American romance drama film titled Cashback. Be warned, spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. You clicked on this video for a reason, and here's why. The movie revolves around Ben, a youthful looking 25-year-old who is consistently kind and considerate to those around him. At first glance, he seems like the perfect friend, but the reality is quite different. While Ben isn't a serial killer, he does possess an extraordinary ability. He can halt time and move freely while everything else remains frozen. Naturally, he uses this unique skill to undress women and indulge in his passion, painting. Whether he is on the streets, inside a supermarket, or even at the movies, Ben stops time, disrobes attractive women, and creates their nude portraits. However, things weren't always this way. Once upon a time, Ben was just a regular guy like everyone else. He had a loving girlfriend and a promising future, with his artistic aspirations limited to simply dreaming about painting naked women. But everything changed, and the movie takes us back 5 weeks to show us how. Ben is caught in the middle of a heated argument with his girlfriend, Susie, who lashes out at him, calling him a failure. Tired of the constant fights, Ben decides to end the relationship, which only fuels Susie's anger further. Enraged, she starts hurling objects at him, and at that precise moment, time seems to slow down for Ben. Following their breakup, Susie moves on rather quickly and starts dating another guy. When Ben sees them together at the college cafeteria, it deeply affects him. To distract himself from the heartbreak, he enrolls in art classes. Ben has been passionate about portrait making since childhood, and his talent shines through effortlessly, impressing even his instructor. His specialty lies in creating highly realistic human portraits, so much so that people say he is unmatched in his craft. Yet despite his artistic achievements, nights prove to be agonizing for Ben. His mind refuses to let go of Susie, and every time he closes his eyes, he envisions her. As days pass, his inability to sleep worsens, turning him into a full-blown insomniac. The memories of his former girlfriend haunt him, slowly dragging him into a state of despair. Feeling overwhelmed with regret and sorrow, Ben eventually reaches out to Susie, pleading with her to reconsider their relationship. He apologizes for everything and promises to be better, desperately hoping for another chance. But despite his heartfelt plea, Susie rejects him outright and hangs up the call, shattering any hope he had left. This pushes Ben further into a deep emotional abyss. If only he had the power to freeze time and escape his misery. Over the next few days, he does everything he can to occupy himself. He reads books, watches movies, and even takes solo trips to different cities. However, when night falls, his insomnia takes over, making it nearly impossible for him to focus on anything else. In an attempt to find some solace, he starts wandering aimlessly through the city at night. One evening, he stumbles upon a local supermarket and notices a job vacancy for the night shift. Realizing that this could be the perfect way to keep himself busy while earning some money, he immediately applies. The next day, he attends an interview with the manager, Jenkins, and successfully secures the position. For the first time in a long while, Ben feels a flicker of happiness, sensing that his life is about to change. As Ben settles into his new job, he observes how his coworkers pass the time during their shifts, each having their own unique way of dealing with boredom. One of the cashiers, Sharon Pott, has an interesting technique. She constantly covers the store's clock with various objects, believing that time moves slower when you look at it. Then there's Barry Brickman, a troublemaker who never takes his work seriously. Along with his equally mischievous friend, Matt Stevens, he spends most of his time pulling pranks on female customers, such as secretly slipping inappropriate items into their shopping bags. While some shoppers are confused when they find these surprises, others choose to keep them, making the prank all the more amusing to Barry and Matt. The only person who seems indifferent to time is their boss, Jenkins. He loves nothing more than boasting about his success and wealth, and once he starts his long-winded speeches, time seems to fly by, at least for him. Among all the night shift employees, Ben has the most unconventional way of passing the time. Drowning in his melancholic thoughts, he mentally distances himself from reality. Using his extraordinary ability, he freezes time and everything around him, allowing himself to move freely in a world where everything stands still. While most people would take advantage of this power to steal money or engage in other unethical activities, Ben has a different purpose. His only desire is to refine his artistic skills. Fascinated by the beauty of the female form, he selects random women, carefully undresses them, and begins sketching their portraits. He harbors no inappropriate intentions. His goal is purely artistic, ensuring that his passion for painting remains alive. Once he finishes his artwork, he redresses them and cracks his fingers, resuming the flow of time as if nothing had happened. This strange yet therapeutic routine has become an integral part of his life. Although he isn't necessarily proud of it, it has helped him regain some sense of stability, keeping his mind from spiraling into the depths of despair. Gradually, he finds himself thinking about Susie less and less. At home, Ben often spends time with his best friend, Sean, whom he has known since childhood. Unlike Ben, Sean is primarily focused on chasing women and fulfilling his desires. It is revealed that Sean has visited every strip club in the city in pursuit of his interests. One evening, during his shift at the supermarket, Ben encounters Sharon in the locker room. He finds himself drawn to her, but is too shy to express his feelings. As they converse, the friendly cashier takes a bite of his sandwich, catching him off guard. A small piece of pickle sticks to her cheek, and she awkwardly tries to wipe it off, but fails. Seeing her struggle, Ben steps in and gently removes it for her, creating an unexpectedly tender moment between them. For a brief second, he wishes he could freeze time and cherish this moment forever, but before he can act, Sharon has already walked away. Shortly afterward, while Ben continues his work, Matt suddenly appears from behind one of the stalls and casually mentions that he is taking Sharon to the movies. This revelation devastates Ben, leaving him wondering why luck is never on his side. His thoughts drift back to his school days when he experienced love for the first time. The girl he admired was the brightest student in class and was adored by many. One day, she suffered an accident and sprained her arm, requiring her to wear a cast. To uplift her spirits, classmates wrote encouraging messages on it. Ben wanted to do the same, but his nervousness kept him from approaching her. Unfortunately, his hesitation cost him the opportunity, as a few days later, she had her cast removed. While everyone was happy to see her healed, they also noticed fine hair growing on her arm, which led to relentless teasing. She was deeply embarrassed and broke into tears. Seeing her distress, Ben finally found the courage to step in. He took her aside, comforted her, and reassured her that he would always be there for her. Their friendship deepened, and before long, they became inseparable. One day out of the blue, she asked if he wanted to kiss her. Without hesitation, Ben agreed, and they decided to meet at their favorite spot over the weekend. Eagerly anticipating his first kiss, Ben was unable to sleep for days. When the weekend arrived, he reached the meeting spot early and waited excitedly. However, the girl never showed up. Heartbroken, he later discovered that she had moved to another city with her parents. That was the first time he experienced the helplessness and sorrow of love lost. Back in the present, Jenkins gathers all his employees and announces that they will be participating in a friendly football match against his friends. None of them are particularly interested in playing, but since it's their boss's idea, they don't have much of a choice. As expected, the supermarket team is completely outmatched. Their opponents dominate the game, scoring goal after goal, while Ben and his coworkers struggle to keep up. The scoreboard continues to climb, reaching a staggering 26-0. Frustrated, Ben decides he's had enough. He freezes time, allowing himself a moment of solitude in the locker room to escape the humiliation. However, something unexpected happens. As he stands there, lost in thought, another player suddenly moves. Someone else has the same ability as him. Before Ben can react, the mysterious person unfreezes themselves and runs off, revealing that Ben is not the only one with this extraordinary power. After a while, Ben returns to the field and snaps his fingers, allowing time to resume its normal flow. In the heat of the moment, Matt kicks the ball without aim, accidentally hitting Jenkins square in the face. Their boss collapses instantly and is rushed to the hospital. With their team leader gone, the remaining players quickly disperse, leaving Ben and Sharon alone. In the next scene, the two decide to stop by a nearby diner to chat and get to know each other better. As they talk, Ben is pleasantly surprised to learn that Sharon is actually single, Matt had only been joking about going out with her. Feeling relieved, Ben shares his own dreams, and Sharon does the same. She confesses that she has always been fascinated by painters, believing that they possess the ability to see the true beauty in things, even when others cannot. As they continue their conversation, it becomes clear that the two share a special connection. After their unofficial date, Ben walks Sharon home. As they reach her doorstep, he leans in for what he thinks will be their first kiss. However, at the last second, he awkwardly misreads the moment and places a peck on her cheek when she was expecting one on the lips. Embarrassed, he can't help but think about the earlier pickle incident again. The next day, Jenkins, now sporting a bruised and swollen face, announces that he will be throwing a party for his birthday. Sharon asks Ben if he would like to be her date for the event, and without hesitation, he happily agrees. Later, Jenkins calls the male employees into his office and assigns them different responsibilities for the party. Ben is given the task of hiring a stripper, a job he has no experience with. Fortunately, he knows just the right person to help him, his best friend, Sean. That evening, Ben approaches Sean with a proposition. If Sean can help him find a stripper for the party, he'll get to come along as his guest. Excited by the opportunity, Sean eagerly agrees. The two head to a local club where Sean uses his extensive experience to find and hire a dancer for the event. The following morning, Ben receives an unexpected phone call from a mysterious man who claims to be an art enthusiast. The caller explains that he owns a gallery in the city and would love to showcase some of Ben's artwork. Thrilled beyond belief, Ben feels a surge of joy. This is the first time anyone has ever recognized his talent. However, unbeknownst to him, the call is nothing more than a cruel prank orchestrated by Barry and Matt. That night, Ben dresses up for the party and heads to Sharon's place to pick her up. As soon as she answers the door, he excitedly shares the news about the supposed gallery offer. Sharon is genuinely happy for him and congratulates him warmly before they head to the party together. When they arrive, the celebration is already in full swing. Sean is getting turned down by a girl, while Matt and Barry are dancing wildly, completely lost in their own world. Jenkins, on the other hand, has taken over the DJ booth, reveling in his moment of glory. Then, something catches Ben's attention. His ex-girlfriend, Susie, is among the guests. It turns out she is now dating Jenkins's brother. Soon, the hired stripper arrives and instantly becomes the center of attention, heating up the atmosphere. In particular, Sean seems to form an instant connection with her, much to his delight. Meanwhile, Ben heads to the bathroom, where he unexpectedly runs into Susie. Wasting no time, she expresses her desire to rekindle their relationship and insists that they should get back together. However, Ben has already moved on. His heart now belongs to Sharon. Despite his firm rejection, Susie refuses to give up. Out of nowhere, she forcefully kisses him. Shocked, Ben immediately pushes her away, but when he turns around, he realizes that Sharon has witnessed the entire scene. Ben quickly tries to explain what really happened, but Sharon, feeling hurt and betrayed, walks away without listening. A while later, Ben goes straight to Sharon's apartment, desperate to clear up the misunderstanding. However, she is too upset to hear him out. Fueled by anger and frustration, she lashes out at him, hurling insults. Heartbroken by her reaction, Ben gives up and leaves. Following yet another failed relationship, he once again sinks into depression. His insomnia worsens, and he finds himself trapped in a cycle of emotional turmoil. The only thing keeping him going is his upcoming appointment with the so-called art gallery that had reached out to him. Finally, the day arrives. Ben gathers his best sketches and heads to the gallery, hoping for a breakthrough in his artistic career. However, upon arrival, he is met with a rude awakening. The gallery owner has no idea who he is. It is at that moment that Ben realizes he has been the victim of a cruel prank. Devastated, he prepares to leave, but just as he is about to walk out, the owner's eyes land on some of Ben's sketches of Sharon. Intrigued, he asks to take a closer look. To Ben's surprise, the gallery owner is highly impressed with his work. After some consideration, he offers Ben the opportunity to display his paintings at the gallery for a special exhibition night. A few days later, Sharon receives an official invitation to Ben's art showcase. Though she is still angry with him, curiosity gets the best of her and she decides to attend. When she arrives at the gallery, she is taken aback by what she sees. Every painting on display is of her. It turns out that after meeting Sharon, Ben had stopped drawing portraits of other women. Instead, he spent all his time capturing her in his art. She was the only person he wanted to focus on, the one who truly inspired him. Seeing this, Sharon finally understands the depth of Ben's feelings for her. As Sharon stands there, absorbing the depth of Ben's devotion through his artwork, he finally approaches her. Before he can say anything, she stops him. There's no need for an explanation. His paintings have already said everything. At that moment, she realizes just how much he truly loves her. Without another word, they step closer, and right in the middle of the gallery, they share a heartfelt, passionate kiss. In the final scene, Ben once again uses his extraordinary ability, freezing time. But this time, something is different. Sharon can move as well. Unlike before, he is no longer alone in his frozen world. The two step outside into the snowy night, where millions of snowflakes hang suspended in midair, frozen in time. Standing amidst this breathtaking scene, they embrace once more, sharing yet another kiss. And with that, their story concludes on a beautiful and heartwarming note. The end.